what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my cerebral lights. It is she, the Cerebral Diva, and she is back with another episode of You Say What. And in today's episode of You Say What, we're going to be talking about a trending topic. This topic came across my timeline, and I felt compelled to come to you guys and talk to you guys about it because I thought it was a pretty interesting topic. That topic is the R&B artist Tank, who is no stranger to controversy. Got himself into a little hot water a couple years ago by performing at a gay pride event. And this time, he's also connected to the LGBT community in a different way. Tank recently appeared on an episode of Lip Service, the podcast Lip Service, which stars Angela Yee from The Breakfast Club. I'm a faithful listener of the podcast, so if you haven't been listening to Lip Service, definitely check that out. So, in a recent episode of Lip Service, the topic of cheating came up. And Tank was essentially trying to defend cheaters by saying, just because I cheated once or twice, that doesn't necessarily make me a cheater. So, one of the co hosts, I'm not sure which of which it was, one of them posed a question to Tank, essentially saying, well, if you have oral sex with a man twice, does that make you gay? And Tank basically said, no, it doesn't make you gay. So that is what has people riled up. And let me say this, I just don't get this. The same way I don't get the whole Malik Yoba thing, the way people get bent out of shape about Malik Yoba. Now, the reason I don't get it is because I strongly feel that there is a double standard that is never addressed in the black community. And it's not just the black community, it's really just a patriarchal double standard. So I'm not going to even just solely attach that double standard to the black community, but I do think that it's prevalent in the black community, or maybe it's just more noticeable to me in the black community because I am black, so maybe I just see it more than I might see it in other communities. And that double standard is a woman's fluidity as it relates to her sexuality versus the man being pigeonholed into one specific thing. Now, before I dive into this Tank subject, I want to talk about Malik Yoba here for just a second. And the thing that I find so interesting about this Malik Yoba thing is that people attach any man who is attracted to anything outside of a cisgendered woman as gay. And the thing that we have to understand is that sexuality is a spectrum. Most educated people at this point have heard of something called the Kinsey scale. If you're not familiar with the Kinsey scale, please Google it and familiarize yourself with the Kinsey scale. And the Kinsey scale essentially states that sexuality is a spectrum, that it is not binary, it is not gay, it is not straight. We all exist on a spectrum. Now, you can choose to not adopt that school of thought, and that's completely okay. But the reality is that there are a lot more men who are attracted to men who will never articulate that attraction because of the fear of being labeled homophobic or I'm sorry, of being labeled gay, not homophobic, which is so bizarre to me. When women are allowed, women like Nicki Minaj, women like Cardi B, um, the list goes on and on and on and on about even Megan Thee Stallion. You know, these women are openly expressing their fluidity without any negative repercussions from it. Why is that? Why is it? Why is it that a woman could go into, let's say, I don't know, does Foot Locker still exist? Why is it that a woman can go into Foot Locker, buy a pair of male shoes, put them on, and it's not a big deal? But if a man goes into um, Neiman Marcus and buys a pair of high heels, people act like the world is coming to an end. Why is it that women are allowed to wear, let's say, a man's sports jersey and no one makes a big deal out of it? But if a man put on a woman's blouse, people would have a big deal out of it. It's really just clothing. It's really just clothing. It doesn't affect the person. And so I don't understand why people are so invested into another person's self expression. I just don't understand that. I have too much to worry about in my own life to really give a whole lot of my time, energy, and brain cells to something that really does not affect me. And that's why I don't understand why people are so invested in the sexuality of others as well. And to all the women out there, I cannot tell you the conversations that I've had, the countless conversations that I've had about down low men, right? Men who don't live openly, men who don't live in their truth. They should just be honest. They should just tell the truth. It's so wrong with them. They know what they like and they don't tell nobody. You have to forgive my impression, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. You hear that over and over and over and over and over again, right? And then the man like Malik Yoba comes out and says, "Hey world, this is me. This is who I am." And rather than embracing that, rather than supporting the honesty, rather than supporting the integrity that it takes to open up in the world full of hate that we live in, and living your truth, rather than support that, we do what? We persecute him. Oh, he's gay. Oh, he's a FAG. Oh, he really, you know what I mean? Like all of these pejoratives that we throw in his direction for being honest. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you just said you wanted honesty. I thought you said you wanted to know what a man liked and what a man wanted, and that if he wasn't genuinely or innately attracted to women, you wanted to know that. Well, here it is. Here's honesty. This is what honesty looks like. He's being completely candid with you, opening up and saying, "This is what I'm attracted to." Now, the beauty of that is you now have a choice. You now have a choice to say, "Hey, okay, that's what you're attracted to. I'm okay with that." Or you have the ability to say, "That's what you're attracted to. I'm good." That's completely up to you. But the bottom line is he was honest with you. And understand this. All of the Malik is one man that came out, and you'd be a fool to believe he's the only one who was having these feelings. So all of the men who potentially had the same feelings that Malik is having, who might be attracted to men, who might be attracted to transgender women, who might be pansexual, who might be on that same Kinsley scale, will never ever 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 express themselves to you, will never ever ever reveal themselves to you, because they're watching the way that you treat Malik Yoba. And you don't have to like what Malik Yoba does. Understand that. I don't believe that you have to like what a person does, how they choose to live their lives. You don't have to like whatever their predilections are. You don't have to like that. But we have to understand is people have a right to exist. They have a right to exist. They have a right to live. They have a right to happiness. They have a right to everything that you have a right to. You cannot pick and choose a person's gender identity, a person's sexual orientation, what have you. Now, I'll tell you the problem. This is what the problem is when it comes to men like Tank, when it comes to men like Malik Yoba in particular. The problem is the black female ego. Did I say it out loud? I sure did. The problem is the black female ego. The problem is, how dare you not be attracted to me? How dare you not? And the fact that you don't find me attractive actually lessens your value to me. You are disgusting for not being attracted to me. I am the best thing going. And you have the unmitigated all the audacity to not be attracted to this? Oh, boo, you're canceled. That's the problem. The problem is ego. The problem is I'm attracted to someone who doesn't find me attractive. And that makes me upset. So because I'm attracted to someone who I can't have, and it's not like you even stood a chance of getting Malik Yoba or Tank to begin with. And I don't want to go Tank in this conversation about trans attraction or homophobia, because Tank is clearly he identifies as heterosexual. And he's just expressing he's an evolved thinker in the sense that he's not judging people based on sexual orientation. This is the guy that you want to date. This is the guy that you want to be leery of men who are homophobic or transphobic to the point that they're violent or angry or just acrimonious to the point that rage can't be contained. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're that passionate about something, something else is amiss as far as I'm concerned. So I just want to say this. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time because I know you have things to do. I have to get ready for work here in just a second. But can we just let people live? Can we just let people exist? I don't really care if you suck a penis, and if you do want to suck a penis, let me know. And I'm going to appreciate that, and I'm not going to devalue you for that. But I do have the right to say yes or no to that. And I think that that's really what it comes down to. We have to get rid of these double standards. We have to quit allowing women to be so free. I shouldn't say quit allowing women to be so free because I think freedom is a beautiful thing. Because we have to allow women to continue being free in their sexuality. And we have to also allow men that same space without trying to emasculate them. You know what I mean? Because someone could say it makes you look less of a woman to sleep with another woman. But for some reason, that has been normalized and we've accepted that. If you go into any neighborhood across America, you'll see a butch lesbian hanging outside the corner store with straight heterosexual thug men and no one says anything about it. But if a gay man were to walk past that same group of people, all hell would break loose. All hell would break loose. It is a double standard. It can't be safety for one if there's not safety for all. It can't be acceptance for one if there's not acceptance for all. Give people the space to live the lives that they choose to live. As long as it's not infringing on your life, as long as it's not infringing on your happiness, why are you really bothered by it? I just personally do not understand it, and I don't think I ever will. And to me, is there anything gayer than sitting around wondering about where another man puts his penis? That's the gayest thing. When you are so obsessed about where someone else is putting their penis or what someone else is doing with their penis to the point that it drives you to act violently, that's pretty gay in my opinion. That's pretty gay. Why are you thinking about penis that much? What's up with you, bruh? What's up with you? Why are you worried about it to that degree? I don't understand it. Comment below if you can give me some insight into why we can't just let people be people. Homosexuality isn't going anywhere. And so too is homophobia probably isn't going anywhere. I don't think we'll ever see a world that is free of homophobia. But I'm just saying, challenge yourself to be a better person. Challenge yourself to be a more evolved thinker. Challenge yourself to treat people the way that you would want to be treated. Put yourself in another person's shoes and think about how your actions would make you feel if you were that person. I always tell people, my friends and close associates, that the problem with the world that we live in is right now I feel like we live in a world without mirrors and people are only looking outward and never looking inward. Take a moment to examine your own personal constitution. Think about who you are as a person. Think about your own individual humanity and think about how you would feel if that was being violated and disrespected. Having said that, I'm going to close out this video. As always, in closing, people, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. Like, comment, subscribe if you care. Remember, I do this for fun, not a living, so I don't really care what you do at the end of at the end of the day. If I'm being completely honest, it is me, the Cerebral Diva, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day, and let people live. Bye.